Today we're talking about one of our favourite herbal allies. It's truly stood the test of time. A staple in many a herbalist toolkit, this herb has been noticed by researchers in relation to its ability to support gastrointestinal complaints, particularly irritable bowel syndrome or IBS and bloating. It's referred to in many magazines due to its ability to help us feel full or satiated. Today we're talking about peppermint, how to grow it, how to use it, and why it works. Let's get started, shall we? Well, hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Project Joyful podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Tutty, your medical herbalist and high performance coach. So, hey, Project Joyful isn't just about being happy. It's about consciously creating a life you love. It's about remembering how to reconnect with your soul-centered joy. You know, that joy that comes from doing what you love, from living on purpose, and from being in a life that allows you to experience deep joy moment by moment. So hey, let's get started, shall we? Today I'm talking about a herb which really needs no introduction. It's used by those releasing weight as an appetite suppressant. It's the go-to for bloating, gas, and a whole wide variety of gastrointestinal disorders. And it's used by those in the know to pique the taste of your herbal tea. This herb really does need no introduction. Have you guessed who I'm talking about? Today's herbal ally is peppermint. Peppermint, or Mentha cross piperita, is one of those herbs that's super easy to grow. It's a perennial, so it's going to last many seasons. It puts out stolons which creep along the ground and the leafy stems pop up from these. And it's got that classic Lamiaceae lavender coloured flower. It's a beautiful looking herb. Peppermint was first cultivated near London around 1750, and it's actually a cross between spearmint, Mentha spicata, and watermint, Mentha aquatica. It will tolerate most growing conditions, but its preference is for that rich, loamy, moist soil. In order for it to flourish, give it lots of water, but not so much that its feet are always wet. It doesn't like that. And it likes full sun. Now, it does like to take over the place, so if you prefer to grow it in a pot, that's probably a good idea. In herbal medicine, we use the whole herb. Most commonly its leaves, and we also use the essential oil. Now, essential oils are really concentrated, and they should only be used internally or undiluted under very specific circumstances. Make sure you're using it as directed by a health professional in these cases. For home remedies, I would recommend staying with peppermint's leaf. There's loads of phytochemicals that have been isolated from peppermint. The principal ones that we know about most are the menthol and the menthone. It also has rosmarinic acid in it, which is a wonderful and powerful antioxidant. And it's got loads of different flavonoids as well. Peppermint tea is often recommended for those wanting to release excess weight. And this is because the volatile oils in peppermint stimulate messages to your brain associated with satiety. And as a result, you feel full. Interestingly, it's the aroma associated with peppermint that appears to be the trigger for this. So when you're supping on your peppermint tea, make sure that you're gently inhaling its delicious pepperminty aroma as you go. Peppermint's best known for all things gastrointestinal, and it really came to prominence during the early research into irritable bowel syndrome or IBS. It became the superfood, the panacea to solve all gastric ills. Now, what I love most about peppermint is that it does a bunch of stuff which promotes a broad-ranging overall improvement in your gut health. So here's what the research has reported so far. Peppermint is an antispasmodic, so it reduces the number of painful involuntary gut contractions that you might have. It also downregulates the messages associated with pain. So it reduces our sensitivity to pain as well as reducing the number of spasms. It's a carminative, so it helps our body to discreetly move gas along, and this in turn reduces bloating. It also stimulates the liver and the gallbladder, And that means that we've got more ingredients available to help with digestion. It relaxes smooth muscles and it's an anti-inflammatory. Now it's also antimicrobial and it supports the growth of healthy bacteria in your gut. And this is referred to as our microbiome. Now these effects can be much broader than just your gastrointestinal system. We're talking about the whole body. Reducing sensitivity to pain means that peppermint can be a really helpful pain reliever. It's also great as a topical analgesic. The combination of relaxing smooth muscle, reducing inflammation and decreasing that pain sensation can also be helpful when you've got a headache. And that cold feeling associated with the menthol in peppermint can also be helpful because it can be refreshing. It's due to a protein that's called TRPM8. Now this protein upregulates signaling to your brain, and it's the signals that interpret things as cold. And that's why peppermint feels cold when you drink it or place it on your skin. Peppermint has broad-ranging antimicrobial, antifungal and antiviral phytochemicals. Peppermint oil is active against a number of common gut pathogens such as Helicobacter pylori, E. coli, Staphylococcus aureus, Klebsiella species, Salmonella, Shigella and the Shigella flexneri. So that's the Boydie and the flexneri. Inhaling peppermint or having it burning as a candle or in an essential oil infuser can also increase your focus, your memory and your concentration. So it's a great study aid. And it can reduce anxiety. But remember, any aroma that increases focus can be quite stimulating. So as a general rule, this isn't one just before bed. But try it out, see how you get on with it. Peppermint also has the ability to heat you up and boost your immune response. Now you'll recall from a previous episode that it's one of my favourites in our cold and flu tea, which is equal parts of elderflower, yarrow and peppermint. So how do I prefer to take my peppermint? Well, my favourite way is a nice strong tea made from the peppermint leaves, and they can be made with fresh or dried leaves. Now it's all about those volatile oils. When you're steeping your leaves in boiling water, put a lid on your mug or brew in a teapot because you want to maximise the retention of those volatile oils. You don't want them escaping out into the air. And peppermint tea can be delicious hot or cold. I like to drink it cold in the summer. It's very refreshing. I also add a pinch of peppermint to other herbal teas just to peak the taste. Now if you're prone to tension headaches, some peppermint oil and a carrier oil dabbed onto your temples can work a treat. My other favourite way of using peppermint is by vaporising peppermint essential oil in an essential oil burner. Here's the thing. Just because it's natural, it doesn't mean it's good for you. As with any herb, you need to understand how it interacts with your body, your supplements, and your medications. Avoid peppermint if you have a hiatal hernia or you have acid reflux, often referred to as GERD, G-E-R-D. And this is because peppermint is really good at relaxing the smooth muscle in your gastrointestinal tract. And relaxing this muscle can make the symptoms associated with these conditions worse. Also, avoid peppermint if you have an allergy or a sensitivity to menthol. Peppermint may increase the actions associated with drugs such as phalodipine and simvastatin. Phalodipine is used to treat high blood pressure and angina or chest pain, and the simvastatin is a statin that's prescribed to lower cholesterol. It's also known as Lipex on the market. If you've got any doubt, talk to your pharmacist or your medical herbalist. Peppermint's been recognised as one of the go-to herbs for gastrointestinal complaints and for gentle pain relief. And the research backs up this traditional approach. Spend some time getting to know peppermint and how peppermint chooses to interact with your body. It's one of those herbs that has supported us through the ages, but its broad-ranging actions confirm its use as one of our herbal allies for this time. Sending you lots of love. Bye for now.
Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast. Can I ask you a favour? If our conversation spoke to you today, could you please take a moment to leave a 5-star review?
Your review will help people discover this podcast, and together we can create a world where there's even more love and more laughter. And if you want to hear more from the Project Joyful podcast, just click the subscribe button. Bye for now.